Hello, my name is Jackie Kasandy, and my story begins in a small village in Kenya as a young girl in the Luya tribe of Kenyans, a tribe that values men but very little about women. So my going to school wasn't important, even though I went to school, which was great. My mom was great in that way. And the examples I had in my life were my grandmother, who was a farmer, tiny little farmer, who did a great job. So growing up, even though the people around me didn't have much aspirations for me, I wanted so much to be like my uncles and my cousins and my brothers, male, all male, who had gone and had PhDs and done really great uh, things with their lives, and they were professors and ethicists and all that good stuff. But no one had that dream for me. And so fast forward to I've grown up, I've gone to school, I end up coming to Toronto to go to school, which was fantastic. And for the first time, I saw the world as my oyster and that I could do anything. And so that made me want to start a business back in the day. But that's because I had seen my mom and I'd seen my grandmother be entrepreneurs. But no one had ever talked to me about being an entrepreneur. I just knew that I thought maybe I could do it. So I kind of, toyed around with some business plans, but I decided to stay in my career in marketing, working in great organizations for a couple of years. Fast forward to 2013, and the idea of doing business has come back to the forefront of my mind. And it came back because in my corporate world, I would wear suits and all nice outfits. You know how we are expected to dress in the corporate world, but I always, included accessories from Kenya, jewelry, pieces like this, things that just kind of stood out and were different. And I had bags and all that. So I had this really, smart corporate suit, but I had my African jewelry that was different, and it always stopped everyone. And they'd be like, "Oh, where did you get that? I'd love to get that." And as the ideas of business percolated in my mind, and the passion of me as a person um, connected to those two pieces, I realized I could actually make a difference. I could tell the stories of those artisans in Kenya, those women who make a life out of making jewelry and other products, leather products and baskets. I could come and tell their stories and connect their stories to the market here. I could actually make a difference because it's very difficult to get jobs in Kenya. So majority of artisans are women, and all they do is small items that they go and sell at the market, and good luck if you sold one piece. So I thought, wait, if I connected those two stories, I could actually make a difference and have a business here. So that's simply how Kasandy started. That's how in 2015, after a life-changing surgery and event, I decided, wait, life is too short. Let's get into making a difference before it's too late. And so I started my business, and I went to Kenya. I worked with artisans, I trained them, we did some good work, and I brought products back to Canada. And I started doing markets. I did all the street markets. All I did Italian, any street market you can imagine. Every weekend, every weekday that had any market anywhere, I did markets just to get myself to understand the market, to understand the customer, what were they looking for, what was working, what wasn't working. And that was really great learning. And at the end of 2016, in November, I started, in combination of five women, I started a retail store. It was a pop-up first, and then it turned into a business. And now I have a business, a really good looking, doing well on Granville Island. And it just excites me more and more because the more products I can make, the more things I can design and bring those stories out here in the West, I'm making an impact in Kenya and the rest of the world. Actually, in our store now, we have about 31 different artisans from about 17 different countries that we support. And And how I support them and how I'm changing the game is we do direct buying, which means I go and I train these artisans and I get them to the place where they need to be, and then I become their first client. They set the pricing, they set everything. I become their first client. And my dream and hope and what I have been able to do so far is then I can introduce other clients to them, which means I'm building businesses out there for them. And the more I expand, they expand, and the more customers I bring them, which means retailers like myself, they can actually expand by hiring other women. So right now in my store, I sell lots of baskets a year, and that's 165 women. That's 165 families just doing the baskets. And that just, I wake up in joy knowing that I'm supporting 165 women just doing baskets. And beyond that, I've got leather products and all the other things. And the story is the same. The jewelry is recycled doorknobs and shower heads and everything here that gets thrown away. People in Africa and other places are turning those things into usable things. And then I come and tell the story here and I make a change there, but I also make a change here because we live in Canada, a place where we are so keen on being green, on being ethical, and on recycling and all of that good stuff. So it's a great story to tell all around with our business, and I'm just so passionate about telling those stories. And but the other thing I want to talk about in our story is the story of technology. So Kenya, being a developing country, as it's known out here in the West, skipped a bit of the technological broadband. And so we basically went in Kenya from nothing to very, very robust um, mobile system. And so the artisans that I work with, it's only technology that allows us to do the work that we're doing. Everything is transacted, all the money, all the banking, all of that stuff is done by my phone with their phones as well. Technology is the only thing that actually lets me excel the way I'm excelling. So in doing business with them around, it doesn't matter whether it's South Africa, whether it's Kenya, Tanzania, it doesn't matter. Only technology allows us to do it because the entire system lives on the phone. So I pay straight into their bank accounts using my phone. And so the technology that Telus and the rest of you have provided us allows me to do this, to work with this guys straight using technology. There's nothing else. So WhatsApp and WorldRemit, all of that stuff, all the banking, all the payments, all the invoices, everything is all online. And technology has been really, really, really important for me here in Canada as well. I grew very, I bootstrapped everything, and I grew slowly and methodically. And I remember the first time I was able to afford an actual proper POS and how excited I got, because most of us small businesses use Square, but as you grow and now you have 2,000 items in the store, SKUs, Square doesn't work. And I needed a POS, and technology allowed that to work. And I have a really good technology with my POS. And when I moved to Granville Island, the one thing we needed was a really good security system, and technology made that possible. And as I grow, my dreams right now is to get technology to work for me for HR processes, and as well as my distribution and storage of inventory and running it through technology is going to make those things possible. CRM that I'm hoping to have as I grow, so that I can get all my customers in one big CRM that will do the business will be great. So right now, doing impactful work with the business and using technology has transformed me as a person, has transformed the artisans I support, and I believe has transformed the customers that I work with here, which is really, really amazing. So what do I dream to do? My goals, starting actually this month, it's what we're doing, is I want to continue to have a greater impact. And Kasandy, my organization, is going to have a greater impact because we are setting up a small production internally at our store. We're going to have a tiny little corner that's going to be production, and we're going to hire refugees. We're going to hire refugee women that are coming into the country and Indigenous women. What we've noticed is in the last few years, there's been a lot of refugees being resettled in Vancouver, in BC. And one of the biggest problems that they have, A, is language barrier, but B, is finding jobs that they can actually do because they have a language barrier. And what I thought is, we produce a lot of things in Kenya. I'm going to be producing now a few things here, beauty products and a few things like that we can produce here. And I can give these women meaningful work. They may not be able to speak English, but they can learn how to make jewelry. They can learn and get instruction on how to make candles and how to make soap and how to make beauty products. And they can start having meaningful work today as opposed to wasting away and waiting through the system as they learn the language, because most of the time when the refugees land here, the women, they're moms, they have families, and they want something they can hold on for themselves. And our indigenous sisters are very good with art and their hands, but they struggle sometimes and with general work because they want to be artists. And so we get to give them that opportunity. And so me, as an immigrant coming from Kenya, coming from a really poor background, coming here and being able to do that will be just so impactful. And so our goal right now is to expand through making products here locally, but expand in impact, where we're going to hire, hopefully by the end of a year, 6 refugees and maybe 6 indigenous women together. And we'll be running a small production, producing gifts, producing goods for Kasandy, but also goods that can become corporate gifts, for example. So that's something we're working on starting today. And I'm hoping that this grant, if I find favor in your eyes, that I'll get this grant that will permit me to do that work, that will permit me to set up properly my technology to produce these products, set up a really good work environment for these refugees that are coming in, and with a very social mind in terms of supporting them and what they might need, giving them time when they need it to do anything that they might need to as they repatriate into our beautiful, amazing country. So we continue our social purpose that I started with at the beginning, to make a difference in artisans' lives, and I want to make that difference continue to broaden that social impact and social purpose of the of the business here in my country. And we know that in the next 4 to 5 years, there's going to be several hundreds of thousands of refugees that come in, and the large percentage of that is going to end up in the western province. And so I'm being conscious of that and starting to prepare as we get more humans in. We're going to need them to have good and meaningful work as they transition and they learn English. And then once they're in a good place, they can actually go back to whatever their careers were when the English is done. So I want to continue to build the community, continue to build my community as a Black woman entrepreneur, my community of other refugees of refugees coming in into the country, and my community of indigenous women that actually live here already, and just provide meaningful work and get the business to expand as best as possible. So I hope that I have explained my business and my passion and my goals in a way that touches you, and that you will come alongside me in making this difference in my community, in everything that we do, and in this beautiful country that we call home. Thank you.